Listen to these words from a father to his unborn son. Be humble about your accomplishments. Work harder than the man next to you. It's all right for boys to cry. Sometimes crying can release a lot of pain and stress. Never be ashamed to cry. It has nothing to do with your manhood. Well, here's the story of the unforgettable dad who wrote these words.
I met Charles in 1998. He was so not my type, but he had the kindest heart and the kindest spirit of anybody I've ever met.
Charles and Dana fell in love and decided to have a baby. Dana was pregnant when Charles was deployed to Iraq, but before he left, she gave him a gift.
I bought a journal for Charles when I was about 5.5 months pregnant. I thought, you know, God forbid something happens to him over there. Maybe he'll write down a few messages for the baby. And he became consumed with it.
Charles was in Iraq when Dana gave birth to their son, Jordan. 6 months later, Charles was given 2 weeks leave so he could come home and meet his baby boy.
I remember calling the doorman in our building and saying, when he gets here, call, let me know. And so he let me know when Charles was on the elevator, and I opened the door, and he walked out, and he was wearing his uniform. And I said, come here, Daddy, meet your son. And I gave Jordan to him. It was, other than giving birth to Jordan, it was the happiest moment of my life. It was a very full 2 weeks. I mean, he fed him, he changed his diaper, he played with him, he took him to story time at the bookstore. It was incredible. And this picture, just look at how he's looking at his daddy. I love that. They just bonded.
The night before he returned to Iraq, Charles wrote in his journal once more. The next day, he kissed Dana and Jordan goodbye. That kiss would be their final goodbye because 6 weeks later, Charles was killed in a roadside bombing in Iraq just 1 month before his tour was over. 1 month. Charles was gone, but his words would live on in the journal that he left behind for his son.
The journal is over 200 pages, and in it, Charles writes everything from the power of prayer to his favorite foods. He writes about how to treat a lady. Dear Jordan, how do you treat a woman? If you take her out on a date, treat her like a queen. Women are extraordinary people. Learn all you can from them. He writes about what Jordan should look for in a wife. Look at your mother. That will tell you what I like in a woman. How to handle racial discrimination. What to do if he gets his heart broken by a girl. I want Jordan to feel like this book is a conversation with his dad. When he gets his heart broken, he'll be able to hear from him about that. And so whatever he needs, I'm hopeful that he'll be able to find it in here in his dad's voice. Do you know who wrote this book for you?
Uh-huh.
Your daddy. Hey, Jordan, what color are your eyes?
Blue.
Okay, Liz, Daddy wrote, blue eyes. Son, you're an African American. Always be proud of who you are. But let your character and deeds shine in everything you do. When I read this journal, it feels to me like he's still alive. You know, I can feel where he pressed the pen down in this journal. And I hear his voice when I read it. So he's still with us. He's still with us, and he's here to be Jordan's daddy, in the way that he could. I love you, and I love your mother. God bless your father, Charles King. Isn't that nice? Charles tucked this letter in the front of the journal to me. He wrote, "Hello, Dana. This is the letter that every soldier should write. I want to thank you for our son. Hopefully, he will have enough photos so he will know what his dad looks like. For us, life will move on through Jordan. He will be an extension of us and hopefully everything that we stand for. The diary is complete, and I know that you will put it someplace safe until he's old enough to appreciate it. I'd like to see him grow up to be a man. But only God knows what the future holds."
Dana's here, and we'll talk to her when we come back. We'll be right back.